for anybody that wants to jump in. Joe, I am excited to get those jig heads that you made. Looking forward. Looks like I got a delay. Hey, someone give me a thumbs up. Oh, there we go. Holy cow, did I ever have a delay? Hey, Brian, thanks for jumping in. Hey, Russell. All of a sudden, everything just piled in. I guess I did have a little bit of a delay. Yeah, we are live. Yes, Joe, we are got. Yeah, I had some reason I get about a 1 minute delay when I kick off every time, but that's all good. All right, thanks. So Gary, did you hear about what I was just? Hey, hey John, down in Florida, small water charters. Anybody going to Florida? Want to catch big bass? Call John. Small water charters. Gary, did you hear? I just read the whole article on the baits that they used to catch all the bass down in Seminole last tournament. So pretty interesting. Yeah. Yes, Joe threw up the triangle, the Florida Triangle, small water charters, parabellum fishing, and coastal fever. We got to expand that triangle. I feel like that there's a little clip going on down there. By the way, I do got the triangle sticker up there. Lindia sent that to me. Thanks, John and Lindia, for sending that out to me. So just going to give it a few more minutes, let some folks pile in here. I'm showing 8:02. I sent out a note to let everybody, you got to move south to be in the triangle. Come on, Joe or John. Can't you? You used to live up here. It's not as warm up here as it is in Florida. Hey, Texas Kayak Bass Fishing, thanks for jumping in. Good to see you. We have had a lot. Matter of fact, before I came on, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more people. I thought I got everybody for the day registered for the tournament. We have 4 more people that have in probably the last 35, 40 minutes asked to sign up for the tournament. It is blowing up. We're probably going to have 300 plus, and that's a good point, John. I can't be in the triangle because, I don't have a 3-letter name. John. Well, Doc's 3 letters. All 3 letters, though. We're probably going to have over 300 plus in the Southern Big Bass Tournament, is the way it looks right now. So let me throw the link out there again. Anybody wants to jump in, I'll give you a couple more minutes. Yeah, Lindia, that's a good point, Joe. Lindia isn't 3 letters. How's Lindia in the triangle? She's Captain Lindia. She's in charge of the group. She keeps everything in line. So I see we got the typical folks in here that are here. I'm hoping that you missed a big one today, Texas Kayak Bass Fishing. It's that time of year for you down there. Hey, Ted. Good to see you. Really interesting. By the way, I liked your video today making the ribbon tail worms. I did have some up here. That's my staple in the summer. I want to. I'd like to start making lures, but I don't want to. Good point, Brian. If you're fishing a jerkbait, hey James from Cranking and Yanking, you won't miss them with all those treble hooks sticking out. Hey Brian, I seen you went out today. Did you catch them on jerkbait still? The heat moved your fish out of the shallows, John? J.A. Mixon, 300 question. Are you the only one that reviews submissions? I am the tournament director, J.A. That is my role in this. I promise you, I review every one of them. So I've got this down to a pretty good science. But if you do have questions, what I ask is, and we can talk about this, when you register a bass in our tournament, you send that photo in on the butt board, and the scale should be pretty evident, or the measurement should be pretty evident. But I ask you, what do you think it is? And you can put that in there, and I just validate what you think it is. All jerk baits on points. Hey, John, is the spawn over down there in Florida? Hey, Ted, or Rob, sorry, that China guy. Good to see you, friend. Yeah, back to Jay's question. That's a lot of fish, potentially. Last year in our 5 bass draw, I had 511 bass that I reviewed. We had 511 bass I registered in my last tournament, so it was a lot. I've got a pretty good process of getting it down. The spawn is just in hold till it's cold. It's cooled off a bit. Okay. Brian, you didn't catch any fish shallow? That's odd. When I was out at Mooney a week ago, every bass I caught was in a foot of water, all on spinnerbait. I caught 3, 4, 5 pounders, all on. I didn't catch 5 pounder, 3 and 4 pounder, I think, for sure, and a couple others, all on spinnerbait, up in the shallow coves. So, all right. Yeah, they've got to be moving. Tip was 44. Yeah, they'll be moving up here pretty soon. Hey, I see Josh Caney down in there. I'm going to pull him up here in just a second. Hold on, Josh. I'll pull you up in a minute. Add the stream. Hey, Josh Caney, how are you, brother?
Hey, we're good.
How's fishing in Alabama?
It's picking up.
I seen you caught a 7 pounder the other day.
I did, yeah.
You need to save that one for after the surf.
I hope there's a couple more out there.
I would tell you that would probably do it. Hey, Butter Boys, good to see you. That would have done it last year. I don't know about this year with this many people registered, but that's a nice that is a nice bass. Hey, Captain Lindia, good to see you in here as well. Were you? Tell me about this. Is really cool, folks. Josh had the opportunity to pull off an event last week. Was it just last week, right, Josh?
Yes, sir.
And you had Hank Parker up, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
So we were doing a event that supports the Catch a Dream Foundation. If you haven't heard of it, Catch a Dream kind of spawned off of Make-A-Wish when they decided no more hunting and fishing Make-A-Wish events. And so Catch a Dream was started. What we did was kind of one that supports that. And it's in our local community. We had kids from the local churches and schools that had handicap, special needs, stuff like that. And they got to come out and fish and catch, and have a good time. We had a couple of up-and-comers from Nashville, music writers, singers that came down. Hank Parker came down and just hung out, had a good time with the kids, and we were able to raise money to sponsor some Catch a Dream kids. So it was a good time. This is the second year that we've done it. Super easy to do.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, Hank Parker. Of course, Rollo Martin. Everybody watched Rollo Martin growing up. Bill Dance. Hank Parker was the other guy, and Jimmy Houston. Those were the ones that I remember real well. But Hank Parker is just like he's like the gentleman of the South when it comes to especially there in the Georgia, Alabama, and you're down there close to not Birmingham. Were you close to Montgomery?
I'm close to Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm close to Montgomery. Yeah, that's really cool, Josh. I mean, that was awesome to see that.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, when I seen Tracy's picture, I looked at, I was like, "Is that Hank Parker? Is that Hank Parker?" Because that was the first picture I seen.
Yeah, was
Tracy, your wife, there standing next to Hank Parker. It looked like at some type of event, and then the follow-on photo showed showed you guys out there fishing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to do that again? Is that something you're going to try to do every year?
Yeah, this is our second year doing it. And we're just hoping to try to expand it, because the more participation we can get from folks that are donating money and whatnot, the more kids that we can send through the Catch a Dream Foundation.
Catch a Dream Foundation. So I talked about this in Lindia from Small Water Charters and a few others. There's been Shane, you got to put on a fishing tournament for kids. And I want to do something, but this sounds like the way to go. Catch a Dream.
Yeah. We're making most of our money through local sponsors.
Okay.
I think this year we raised about $25,000. And I think,
wow.
I think it's something around $4,000 or $5,000 sends a kid on a child and their family on this Catch a Dream trip of a lifetime. And it pays airfare, lodging, it pays for the hunting or fishing trip, whatever they do. So
that's phenomenal. So what do you do for boats?
So last year we had some we'll call them local celebrities that came down and fished, but most of the kids that are participating, it's just not really ideal to get them on boats, so they're fishing from the bank and the marina and docks and stuff that we have. The feedback that we got from the folks that went out on the boats last year was, hey, we're here to see the kids, we don't want to do that, so we didn't do it this year. And they hung out with the children that were, fishing from the piers and stuff. So that worked out. That made it a little bit easier logistically on us. Didn't have to worry about loading and unloading boats and stuff like that.
Yeah, life jackets, and I'm sure liability for people falling on boats and all that good stuff was a concern. So
we'll probably keep it something similar to that, but it's for getting local sponsorship, they want to hear about that big name being there, and so that's why we're trying to get. Last year we had Troy Landry from Swamp People came up.
Oh yeah.
And so we haven't figured out who we're going to try to get next year, but we're going to just try to keep building on it and make it a bigger event.
Well, I know a guy who knows a guy named Roland Martin, and his name's John Hendrick from Small Water Charter. So if the challenge is I mean, I met some of us met Roland via this event that John puts on Friday night, but Roland is not tech savvy, so he didn't hang on very long. So
nice.
But that'd be cool if we get somebody like Roland or somebody like that. That would be really cool. So that's awesome. I gotta link up with you kind of offline. I'd like to kind of support something around here in Virginia. I mean, we got plenty of water, a lot of reservoirs. There's one lake. I mean, it's 4 or 5 miles from my house, not even. That's got all kinds of fishing piers on it. No one fishes it. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't say no one fishes. People fish it, but it's just not very popular because it's so easily accessible by kayakers and boaters. It's called I can't think of the name of it, but Brian Green probably knows what, like Curtis Lake right here close to my house. And it's got all kinds of piers. It'd be a great place to do that.
Yeah.
So, hey, Kurt, thanks for stopping in. Mike from Reese Life Dad Life, thanks for stopping by as well. If you haven't seen, if you're not following Reese Life Dad Life on YouTube and Facebook, give them a hook. Last year, I participated in one of his tournaments, the Topwater Bash, and we have a new tournament that we're putting together. How many? Tell me, I forgot. It's at least a dozen YouTube channels, including myself, that are going to be participating in this 1 week fish off. But the kicker is, we all have to use the same lure that Mike has made, and it's a chatterbait. It's a vibrating jig, and it's pretty sweet gig, or a pretty sweet lure. It's in a fire craw color, and we're doing this like I think the 10th through the 18th of April, which is just prime time for fish on the beds here, typically here in Virginia. 16. Thanks, Mike. 16 channels total. So it's pretty awesome little event that he's putting on. So I want to try to defend my title because I won the Topwater Challenge, but I fished my tail off. I don't know I don't know if I had that type of time in April, but I'm gonna give it a ride anyway. Yeah, so that's right. Mike's saying it's the first time he's making his own baits. Hey everybody, if you don't mind, we got 20 folks in the chat, just about, or right at 20. Hit the old thumbs up if you could, just to help the algorithm out a little bit. So I want to open this up we've been chatting for a while here now, 15 minutes or so. One of the main reasons that I did this was to have people ask questions about the tournaments that are upcoming. I already had one. And the question was, do you look at all 300 fish that are coming in? Yep, that's me. But if there's anybody else that we have had a lot of people jump into this tournament. These tournaments already, I think we've probably got over 400 registered, 450. Some of them are in the north and the west big bass challenges, and some of them are just doing the 3 bass and the smallmouth challenge. But if you have any questions or issues, concerns, whatever, feel free to put it in the chat, or if you want to jump up and join us here live, I just put the link out there again. Feel free to jump up and chat with us. I want to make sure that I did put out pretty good instructions, everybody. You'll get some very detailed instructions, and everybody that's on here fishes my tournaments. And I think, Josh, this will be your first year, right? Fishing.
Yes.
But when you get your participant code, it's pretty clear how you take your photo of your fish and the rules associated with it. So, but I just want to give that opportunity to anybody to jump up there. Kurt, I did see that. Southern Illinois, you'll be in the northern region. I am surprised. I think we got close to 100 participants already in the northern region signed up, and that didn't kick off till mid-May. So the southern region right now is looking at 300. But you might see 400 to 500 in the north, which is awesome, right? The more competition, the better. I think it should be a real good time. Just look here through the comments, Josh. I'm not ignoring you. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Butter Boys, where are you from? Arkansas. Okay. Seen that. All right. So, Josh, I know your is hook setting machine a sketchy. John, come on now. I didn't hit you but with one fish when I set the hook. I don't know, Josh, if you've seen that video. But if you haven't seen this video, I'm adding somebody else to the stream. Hey, Gary.
What's going on?
Have you ever got hit by a fish when I set the hook?
No.
But damn close, right? You got to turn your YouTube off, buddy.
Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, just because I set the hook hard doesn't mean I can't fish. Catch fish.
I've got a delay on this side. I can't hear you. John's moving normal. Or Josh. Okay.
Looks like we're good.
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Just a little burp. Shane, didn't you say you were going to take me out to catch some big bass, Marty? Yeah, I did tell you that. Marty, I've taken you on my boat to catch big bass. I can't make them eat your bait. There's a part where you've got to fish as well. And I'm sorry, I was planning on fishing a bass tournament local here with Marty this weekend, but I've got to go to San Diego, fly out Sunday night. So I'm not going to be able to hit that tournament. So Kurt, you said the temperature's around 45 there in Southern Illinois. Yeah. I mean, that's when the temperature gets around 45, it's time to get out there and get after them. Yeah, Rob, I did get close to getting John with a fish.
He hasn't hit me yet, but it's been close a bunch of times.
Yeah.
They just haven't been on film. So
that I put out a short of me setting the hook and jerking it right over Gary's head on YouTube. And I think I got 5,000 or 6,000 views of it or something like that. About a month ago, I put it out on Facebook as a reel, and I think I'm close to like 80,000 views on that on that actual reel on Facebook.
And I put it out a week before you put it out, and because I think it was on my camera, and I think I got like 300 views.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You never can tell. Hey, I gotta throw this at Marty. Marty, Brian is offering to take you on the front of his kayak if you can hang on. Brian catches a lot of big bass in one of the local lake here close to my house on Moody. So we've all been out there together. So, Gary, did you read the article that I was talking about?
You started talking about it, but that's when you were in your 1 minute mute, not connecting with anybody. So what article were you watching or reading?
Bassmasters, the top lures to catch bass in the tournament. Let me answer this question. Kurt, great question. What was the Northern Region big bass last year? We did not have regional tournaments last year.
Nope. That
was the feedback. We had a nationwide big bass tournament. We only had 28 or 29 people. And the reigning champion is Lindia from Small Water Charters. So this year is the first time we broke it up in south, north, and west. Got a lot of feedback that, if I live in Pennsylvania or Michigan, the ice wasn't even off the lakes when we had the big bass tournament last year. So we broke it up into regions. So this would be the first for the northern. But what I will tell you, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, are you still on here from Reese Life, Dad Life? He fished from Indiana, and he was Indiana was second place last year in the big bass competition. Lindia won in Florida. And right behind her by a half inch was Mike. 21 inches. So there you go.
I see a comment from Brian going, my yak is a no drop shot zone, Marty. Hey, Brian, don't knock out the drop shot. The Bassmaster Elite was just one on Seminole on a drop shot with live scope. So,
So Marty gave me this, and it's probably accurate. He said that he follows the hummingbird migration, and the bass spawn typically close to the hummingbird migration. So as the hummingbirds start moving north, it's about the time the bass spawn. And he's saying the hummingbirds are in southern Georgia, which kind of makes sense, right? Southern Georgia is warming up for, last week was pre-spawn at Seminole. And I can't argue it right now. Last year he said it's here, and the bass responded. So, I'm just looking to make sure I got all the questions here. Yeah, John says I got hummingbirds year round. And yes, John, you damn got hummingbirds year round, and you catch big bass year round, except when I come down. So John, I'm gonna throw this out here. I didn't see your latest video, but all I seen was some money being exchanged hands. So I'm curious to see how that video is, your last episode. So they're at Small Water Charters. And Lindia said it's unusually hot down there. Is it hot where you're at, Gary?
It's in the 70. It gets in. Today was high as 76. But in the morning it was 72. Afternoon 76. Perfect.
We've been in the 80s for the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
So I don't know what's Montgomery, probably 4 hours north of you, Gary? 4.5 hours north and
yeah, I'd say it's got to be 4. Montgomery's north of Eufaula, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
About an hour.
Yeah, so it's 2.5 hours, so 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
90s,
holy cow. Yeah, the bass will turn off in the 90s.
I really want to go fish Eufaula right now. Oh.
Yeah. So. Well, we have a challenge coming up. Gary and I got a tournament on Seminole 2 weeks from now. Is it 2 weeks?
Yep, 3 weeks. Yeah,
3 weeks. So I'm afraid it's going to be post spawn. I'm not afraid. Don't get me wrong, but it's probably typically going to be post spawn. So it's going to be probably way different than what we watched in this Bassmaster tournament the other day. But
Yeah,
all you can do is go out there and catch your arm off.
it'll be on the back half, but there's going to be spawners forever, and hopefully it'll be nice. I mean, I did good last year in the tournament, and I've got some new spots, and then I did pay attention to the Bassmasters. I watched day 3 and 4 for like I don't know how long, but a lot of places they were fishing. I was like, I know that place, and so I got some ideas and some extra things, but they were fishing kind of just like I fish, so.
Yeah, it was interesting when I was looking through all the lures. It was
With the exception they were catching fish, So.
Yeah, Gary, I don't think you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't brought any 25-pound stringers in a tournament yet.
No, not yet. Actually, and at that point, don't watch my past 3 videos either. So, no, yeah, the fishing for me. I mean, I don't know why I'm in a rut. I think somebody sprayed all my gear with Lysol or something. So.
I've got to call you on that. I don't even own a can of Lysol, and every time I go fishing with,
every time I don't catch anything, I blame you.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. If you could hit the old thumbs up button there. So I haven't seen anybody, not too many questions pop up for the tournament. We'll keep it here. I sent a mass email out. I had to send it out in 3 different emails because the list was too big. So
most of the people in the chat have been through your tournaments already.
Yeah. A few folks have jumped in here. Texas kayak bass. I'm excited. We have so many Texas folks this year. It's amazing. I'm looking. I really think. I mean, there's always that wild card, right? John just said Shane said it. We catch big fish until he came down. You caught some big fish already. I didn't jinx you, John.
John, isn't it true you catch big fish? As soon as Shane comes down, it's a little fish,
I want to say we probably got 40. Hey, Russell, thanks for stopping in. Maybe someone put a banana in it. Yeah. I want to say we've got 50 to 75 fishermen from Florida in this big bass tournament, and probably 50 to 75 in Texas. And then the rest are, like Josh in Alabama, Georgia, all over. I think every southern state's covered. But it'll be interesting to see where this pops out as a winner. I think it'll be a wild card. You watch, it'll be someone in Arkansas. We got a lot from Arkansas too, right? So probably somebody in Arkansas will catch an 11-pounder, or, a 25.5 incher. We'll
Next
see.
year you might have to go north, east, south, Florida.
Yeah. No.
Who knows?
Yeah. Ted, I think we've got at least 10 folks from PA signed up. So there's quite a few from PA. I got my first bass fisherman from Vermont signed up for the North tournament. I'm telling you, the North is a lot of people, from the North are interested in this, and I'm glad that they are. Hey, Buck, how are you? Hey, good to see you, Buck. And, hey, James, easy on Buck tonight. If James is still in here. Something that's interesting, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think we're starting to really get traction. I'm going to be careful how I say this. Sponsors are starting to respond to me. And I'm hoping to get a lot of feedback in the next 30 to 60 days on some sponsorship for this tournament. I had how should I put it? A major tackle distributor email me today and watched the channel and said, "Holy cow, we didn't know you were doing this. We'll see what we can do to help you." So that's good news. I don't want to sell them out yet, but yeah, I was hoping Daniel from Bit Rod Fishing would jump on. Daniel, are you watching? You out there? I'm waiting to see if he responds. Kurt says he's got a 20-inch bass.
You're 3,000, by the way.
What's that?
congratulations on your 3,000 subs.
Oh, thank you, Gary. I'm glad you brought that up. And hey, thanks to everybody. All the folks that have jumped in the channel. We hit 3,000 subscribers today. I think I was telling Gary, I hope I get to 3,000 by end of summer. And it's, I texted Gary last night. Last night we hit 3,000. So thank you all for supporting the channel. It does help. It really helps when the folks go to look, these sponsors go to look at your channel and they don't see 500 subscribers. They see 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. So, I appreciate all of you, jumping on there and supporting the channel. So that's funny. John says, I smell a bug. I smell it bug. Good. Buck's eating dinner. So, just sitting here making sure I don't miss anything real quick. Yeah. So, Gary, what's the if the weather right now is in the 70s, you don't have any cold fronts coming in anytime soon, do you?
It looks pretty steady. It looks nice. The weather finally calmed down. I mean, the last time I went out, okay, so I don't know who watches the Bass Masters. I'm pretty sure y'all do. Okay, Seminole was gorgeous. I fished the weekend before. It was 37 degrees with 15-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, and I got skunked. I caught fish. I just did not catch a keeper fish. And then the day after, boom, it started warming up. And by the time they had their 4-day show, the weather steadied out and it was in the high 60s, low 70s. It was perfect weather for them. But the week before, we actually got blown off our boat ramp. We had to go launch at another ramp. There was already another club there. A bunch of great guys. It was a good time. Went fishing. But yeah, it was cold all day, 37. But Lake Seminole, 37 degrees in the morning. One of the guys in my club didn't even start up his boat, trolled right across to a little lily pad field and on a frog in 37-degree water, got a 6.5 pounder in 37-degree not 37-degree water, 37-degree air temp. But the day before it was, it was in the 60s, 70s, and overnight it dropped. And
yeah.
He's a Seminole. It doesn't matter, 24/7. It doesn't matter. You're going to get top water fish. It's just weird.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt Hellman asked when the tournament, Russell put it out there, 10 May. Yeah, thanks, Russell. 10th of May is when the Northern tournament starts. Ice should be off the lakes by then. So
better be.
Is Elton John in, right? That's right. It's a capsule launch tonight, right, John? We're sending astronauts up, if I'm not mistaken.
They are they? Huh? Okay.
Yeah. Not this one. He could. I just about stepped on that. Buck said, "Is Elton John on this rocket?"
Yeah.
John said, "This one he make the weight." That's good. One of the cool things about where John and Lindia fish at down there on Donkeyland, Kenansville is the name of the reservoir. They can see the launches from the lake. They're from Patrick Air Force Base, or I'm sorry, Patrick Space Base now, which is pretty cool. Gary Lindy is asking, what's the average depth on Seminole?
I'd say, well, you're going to hear there's a lot of flats, but I'd say 8 feet. There's a lot of flats that are, 3 to 5 feet, but the whole thing is the Flint River, the Chattahoochee both make up, Seminole. The center of Seminole is real deep. So it's just all the shallow woodlands on the side. What's the average? It's not like your lakes. We have channels and channel markers. It's a real lake. And so
it's a real lake. Donkeyland's a real lake.
Well, they don't have I'm pretty much sure they don't have channel markers in their lake. It's a big flat, right? It's like, grass flat. Now Seminole is a grass lake, but there's also flooded timber. And if you're in certain areas and you go out of those, you go out of the channel at speed, you're losing a lower unit, So Josh, you've been up in Eufaula, right? I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
And
sure about
Seminole.
Eufaula, but I'm pretty sure they got that kind of stuff at Eufaula too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
Ted, the smallmouth tournament's the 20th of August through the 10th of September. Just a 3-week tournament this year. So,
I mean, Seminole has stripers in it and the whole 9 yards. So,
well, so does we didn't catch any stripers or hybrids when we were on Eufaula, but one of the guys fishing was catching them, right?
He had to catch 30 stripers on Eufaula. Yeah. Yeah. Well, those are, but they're, you're not going to find them in a lake that's, with a 4 foot, 5 foot depth average, I mean, well, you might, they're a seasonal deep water fish, but, yeah, I'd say the average depth would be 7 to 10 feet if you wanted to average it out, so.
Yeah. Well, there on Donkey Land, you don't even need it. Only thing you need for a depth finder is your fishing pole.
Right. The grass. I mean,
Stick it down. It's 4 foot.
Stick it down.
I kept looking when I was fishing with John Lady. They do have a depth finder, but when I wasn't, I'm always looking for mine. And John was it's 4 foot. It's 4 foot everywhere. It's 4 foot. So, hey, Frank Owens, good. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you here. The one thing you're not going to get any utilization out of, and I know James is in here, so James, feel free to shout out cheater when I say this. You don't get any good. There's no utility in a live scope on Donkey Land.
No.
It's shallow and full of weeds.
Yeah,
So,
people have a big misconception about live scope. It's not X-ray vision. It has its limitations.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Russell's talking about catching stripers. When we were in the tournament, we fished a tournament in Gary on Lake Eufaula last fall. One of the guys that was in contention to win, or to place, I should say, which I ended up placing in the tournament, but he rolled up on some fish, what he thought was bass blowing up on some shad, and started throwing. I think he said he's throwing a lipless crankbait, probably a rattle trap or something, and he was catching nothing but stripers. He said, "What did he say? Got 30 or 40 of them?"
Yeah, he stayed there like an hour and a half, I think, trying to hopefully get a largemouth out of that school. And largemouth are in those schools. They're probably further. They're probably further below, and I'm waiting for the free pickings, But but yeah, he didn't get any. So, but he had fun. They're fun fighting, but you don't want to do that in a tournament. So
heck no, that's a waste of time.
It's the next best thing to a mudfish.
Oh yeah, Josh, have you dealt with mudfish down there? Have you caught a lot of those? Oh my.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They're such a pain in the ass.
Watch any video I'm in, and you will see a mudfish.
All right.
Yeah.
So, one of Shane's first videos, he's like, mudfish. Don't want to catch another one. Yeah.
Well, we were fishing a tournament. The first tournament I went and fished at Gary, I threw up just like I, flipped up under a tree and just with the chatterbait and bam, just like you caught it. Typically how you catch a big bass. And Gary was hung up or something. And I was like, dude, this is 6-7 pound bass. And Gary's like, all right, I'll get the net. Right. And he turns around and goes to stab it. And then he goes, just drops it in. He goes, that's a damn mudfish. And it was. And they're just nasty, pain in the ass. And we caught what?
Yeah, I don't
15?
know.
Oh man, we got into them and it was just.
We caught more mudfish than bass. Yeah.
Yeah, we caught more mudfish than bass.
Yeah, they fight good, but you can't eat them. If you were to fillet them, their flesh is mush, and they stink. And they're no good. They do put up a good fight, but they bend your lures up into your gear. They tear it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Buck here. He goes, didn't need a live scope on my last fishing trip. The water was clear, crystal clear. I could see all the bass ignoring my lure.
That's kind of how I feel sometimes. Hey, there's one over there. No, don't want to have nothing to do with the lure. So
yeah. Hey, John mentioned that to me when I was fishing with him. There's tilapia in Donkey Land, And heck, when you get into those, you think you're seeing bass, but man, there's big schools of those.
Yeah, they're not going to eat your crankbait though. Has John ever? I've been tilapia fishing, but yeah, you know, I don't. Has he ever caught any on spinner baits, crankbait? Well, all they throw is or most of the time they throw paddle tails. Do they catch any tilapia?
I don't know, John. Have you? That's a good question. I haven't seen you catch any tilapia, John. Do you catch them? So, Kurt, you're asking about the 3.5 Shadlicious, the ghost minnow size. I know what you're talking about. I don't think Strike King makes those anymore. I haven't seen them anyway. I put my
Okay, he got a foul hook, which I could see that, you know, coming through a school, a foul hook, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Marty makes a good point here. We got snakeheads up here.
Oh yeah. Those are good eating.
Yeah, those are good eating, but they are if you're not trying to catch them. And I've only caught one, and I fish a lot, but I know there's some big snakeheads. People catch them all the time. I see them up here. I mean, they call them dragons. I mean, they're holding them out like this. They're that big on the Rappahannock. Yeah. Lindia says they will bump your lure.
That's the Asian version of a mudfish.
Yeah. Hey, John, thanks for throwing that out there. If you're interested in Bruiser Baits, John and Lindia, if you use their discount code SWC20, you get 20% off. So if you're looking for a new swim bait, I'd recommend Bruiser Baits are good baits. And John and Lindia, you can use their discount code SWC20 there in the chat to get 20% off. So since he said that, I've got to throw out. I'm looking for my spinner baits. So if anybody's interested, I know a few of you already bought these, but I do on my website, ShaneFlintOutdoors.com. I do have an array of spinner baits. And if you do use one of my spinner baits in the tournaments, and you can go on and see the colors. I got Super Shad color, the Bass Slammer, which is chartreuse and white, and one I call Bass Candy, which is basically sexy shad. And then I have a dark blue and black. That's really, I designed that one for night fishing. But if you catch a fish in our tournament and register that fish, you will be eligible to win a $100 gift certificate at the end of the bass fishing season. But if you win a Shane Flint Outdoors tournament on by catching a fish on one of my spinner baits, I'm going to give you a $100 additional prize on top of the prize that we have. So just keep that in mind if you're a spinner bait fisherman. And Daniel, who is the owner of Bent Rod Lures, I was hoping to be on here. I'd ask him to jump up. These are all handmade by him. He does a great job. These are great lures, really, really good product. Hopefully here pretty soon you'll see some videos coming out with me utilizing these spinner baits and catching bass on them. I picked out the colors, I designed them. He just built them. He did a really nice job. One other guy, sorry guys, you dropped his card. Another local bait maker here in Virginia. And Lindia and John will get a kick out of this. I wanted some more 1 ounce spinner baits. Look at the size of this. And a local bait maker, his name is Chris, and he's from CT Custom Spinner Baits. I got his card right there. 1 ounce spinner bait. Look at the size of that blade.
And you already sent me this stuff. I will be hitting him up for the 1 ounce. Well, with I like the six or the size 6 blade.
Yeah, this is a beast, and it's hard to find someone. These are good. I mean, he did a really good job. The gauge of wiring and everything on here is really good. So, man, this is he made. I ordered 10. I got 10 spinner baits for I think $80. So, or if I'm not counting shipping, but yeah, he did a really good job. This is gold and silver. So if you're interested in getting a big spinner bait, those big blades.
I've seen one of those fly past my head at 60 miles an hour.
I knew John was going to say that.
All he's going to hear is as that blade goes through the air, kind of like the hummingbirds they have down there. right by.
Yeah, when I crank those out there, I get that good woo, the blades blowing fast. So, hey Brian, I've seen some big spinner baits on your rod. Brian fished out there with me, so yeah, you can use a musky spinner bait, Brian, but I have these specifically made with bass colors and the good blades on them. So if you're interested, hit me up later, and I can get you in contact with him if you want to get some big ones. He does a good job. 1 ounce with number 6 blade. Yep, that's it. Number 6 willow, and a number 5 Colorado on there. So, and when that blade turns, you feel that on your rod for sure. You can feel that thumping. Yeah. So, and that was the same. Yeah. Yeah, Ted, I can imagine. Oh yeah, Ted's a big musky fisherman up in PA area. So Ted's caught some big muskie. Any in black and blue, Bo Hayes. So Bo, I do have my Shane Flint Outdoors spinner baits are in black and blue. But if you want to get one of these from CT Customs in black and blue, he'll do whatever color you want. He custom makes these. He asked me what colors. I told him exactly what I was looking for, and he made them custom made for me. So, Bo, thanks for jumping in. Just seeing you in there. John's busting my chops now. I froze my butt off in Florida when I went fishing with him. And it wasn't cold until we started doing 45 miles an hour across the lake. I think it was 46, 47 in the morning, John, when we were out there. It was cold, and I was being a little stubborn. I'll admit. So, hey Ted, I've seen you caught some big muskie on your channel. What's the biggest muskie you got? What's your big muskie up there? You know, when I think of big muskie, I've caught some muskie when I lived in Minnesota. I think, Gary, me and you caught some smaller muskie.
You caught some smaller muskie, but the biggest muskie we didn't see is the one that ate the duck.
Oh yeah, we watched one eat a duck one day.
A full, not a little baby cute duck, a full grown
big duck. It looked like an alligator. We're in what was the name of that lake?
Matachek Dam.
Matachek Dam, yeah. We watched them just come up and just devour that duck. It was like, is there alligators up here?
Yeah. This is in North Dakota. So
North Dakota. Yeah.
It was, and if it wasn't a muskie, it was the biggest northern pike. And I mean, we can't say whether it was a muskie or northern pike, but whatever it was big enough to eat a full-grown duck. So
yeah, it took you right down.
Yeah.
Montrose, Virginia, 60 degrees. Where is Montrose at in relation to, say, Richmond, Bo? I'm not familiar. I'm in Stafford, Virginia. I know it's supposed to be warm tomorrow. Lindy, I think you told me about you seeing a bass try to eat a bird. I've not seen a bass try to eat a bird, but I have seen bass eat bass, try to eat bass off my line. Gary, we got that on video. One of our episodes.
That on video too. Yeah.
Montrose is past King George. Okay. Thanks, Bo. Are you? Matter of fact, I recognize your name. You are signed up for the tournament. Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. Make sure I'm not missing anybody here. I'm going to ask Brian. I've seen that it's going to be close to 70 tomorrow here in Virginia. Are you going to be out there on Mooney, Brian? I bet he's going to tell me no. Russell says muskie eat ducks all the time in Indiana. I believe it. Troy Lee Thompson, 26 degrees in Alaska. Where is that at, Troy? Are you in Wisconsin? In that area? Your name sounds familiar, and I think I've registered you in the tournament. I know I registered you in the tournament. You wouldn't be here, but I just don't know if it's Wisconsin. Let me know what state you're in, Troy Thompson. 49 inches your biggest, and 50 you're still trying to get. So now we got this. This is on the live here. Brian's telling me, Brian Green, we know him around here as bass hunter on Lake Mooney. It's going to be really warm tomorrow, almost 70, and he's telling me he's not going to go fishing because he's got a kitchen remodel. Man, I'm going to find it hard to believe, Brian. I bet you're going to find 2 hours to get out there on the lake, but I hear you. Washington State, Troy. Okay. So I've been to Washington State several times. I've been to Spokane. I've been to Seattle. Where are you located? Closer to Spokane or closest to Seattle there, Troy? What are you close to? What area of Washington? Because I know there's some good fishing there. Ted's saying when he gets a 50-inch muskie, he's going to get it mounted, get a replica mount. Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably a 40-year-old fish in a muskie. That's an old fish. You don't see Troy commenting, John. He's on Facebook. So I have Facebook and YouTube on live streams. That's why you're probably not seeing it. So Troy, he is closer to Seattle. Wow, it's that cold, that close to Seattle. Usually it's around the mid 40s this time of year. So. Yeah. So some of the new folks that jumped in here, if you have any questions or want to jump into the chat, please throw any questions you have out into the chat, or if you want to just come up and chat, feel free to do so. Olympia. Oh, okay, I know where Olympia, Washington is. It's a beautiful area of the United States. It is. It really is. It's unique. I drove all through there. I was stationed in Alaska. And I drove from Alaska all the way down to the lower 48. So I came down through Washington and drove through all that area. It's really beautiful area. So, yeah. So Josh, what's your 30 miles from Mount St. Helens? Okay, I know where you're at. What's the plan? When you're gonna try to hit it every day once the tournament kicks off, or you're gonna try to plan it out?
I'm hitting it every day.
You're gonna hit it every day?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to change anything. That's what I do now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the lake every day. That's awesome. I'm jealous, man.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no way. So Josh and I go way back. He and I served in the Air Force together. And Josh is a big hunter. You've shot a lot of deer. Right, you put a lot of deer in the freezer, catch a lot of fish, and one of the things that when we were stationed together in Maryland, we always talked about deer hunting. But I never thought we'd get to the point where we talk about Josh fishing every day. That's awesome.
I didn't either, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm just thinking. Not only were we in Maryland together, we were in Texas together as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeremy Albritton, thanks for stopping by. Albritton. There you go. So your numbers will be in the picture with the fish on the board to show the link. Never done a tournament like this. Hey, Bo, thanks for bringing that up. So yeah, so here's how it works. You got your bump board. You'll get a code from me. It'll be a 3-digit code. And you just you can write it on the back of a card or whatever. Some people do like a plastic sleeve, and you put your participant code on, and you can lay it on top of your fish when you take the photo, or you can put it at the end of your bump board. Why that code is important is it validates you as somebody in the tournament, and that code is unique to you. And I give it to you right before the tournament. So that eliminates, you having a picture of a big bass, eliminates a little bit of cheating, possibility of cheating. So we do allow, Bo, we do allow you to send it away, but the tournaments are linked first. But we've had 2 ties already last year, and we went to the weight. So for the weight, all you have to do is have has to be a digital scale, not a spring scale. with the weight, with the full length of the fish, and we'll accept that as a weight. So it works out pretty good. I have had zero complaints on the way these tournaments have ran so far. I did admit I am human, so I may make a mistake. I'll just throw that out front. I did miss a fish last year, but we corrected that real quick. So,
and also all the tournament instructions are on your website, and
Yep.
they can read exactly how everything works.
Yeah. If you go to ShaneFlintOutdoors.com and hit tournament instructions, it gives you some information. But you will get a detailed email from me when I send you the participant code. A very detailed instructions on how to take a picture and an example photo as well of how to do it. So it will be it's easy. I had no one say it's hard, and I've had nothing but good comments on how the tournament structure works and with the link and everything. So, well, Jeremy, thanks for stopping in. You said you're a busy guy. Everybody's got to pay the bills. I get it, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Troy Lee Thompson says, 12 minutes from Mayfield Lake, big tiger logs with teeth snowed in. Well, I'm glad you could stop by even though you're snowed in. So, and Jeremy's saying he's constantly catching. Man, if you're constantly catching, that's a good thing. Hey, Brian, I cannot promise you that you'll get 007 as your code again. I will see what I can do. J.A. Mixon, great question, Jay. Will there be a leaderboard to view? Yes, there will be. And the way I do that is this venue right here. I do a live on Wednesdays. And what we do is we bring up the leaderboard, and I make sure before I go into that live that I have all the catches caught up. And then we do the live, and I'll bring up the leaderboard as of 7:45 Eastern time on that Wednesday afternoon. You'll see the current leaderboard. So you can tune in here. And if you do miss it, Jay, if you miss it, say you miss this live, you can always go back on the YouTube channel. These are posted on my YouTube channel, and you can go back and review it. So say you're working or you're out fishing, just go back and look. So just go back to YouTube, and you can just go right through the video and find the leaderboard. So it's easy to keep up with. It's a little bit of taxing on my side, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy being the tournament director and doing these tournaments for everybody. So stay tuned. You'll see. It's a fun time, and we have some great folks that are and I just call them the tip, my normal crowd, and we'll get a little bit of smack talking going. It's fun. We have a really good time, and you'll enjoy it. So let me see. We're getting right there at 9 o'clock. I'll go a little bit longer just in case if there's anybody else in here that wants to ask any question. Make sure I got everything. Kurt says, I'm a half hour away from Scott Air Force Base. Okay, Kurt, I am very familiar with Scott Air Force Base. Been there many, many times. So actually my last job in the Air Force, I had a group of airmen at Scott Air Force Base. Stood up a group in 4 squadrons. Josh probably knows better than me. I was the command chief. At least 4 squadrons of airmen out there. Yeah. 6. See, I told you, Josh, you better than 6 squadrons of airmen. When does it start? Bo, the Southern tournament starts on the 13th of March. The 13th of March will be the first start date of the tournament. I will not do a live, by the way, JA, just for your information. I won't do a live on the 15th of the 13th is the first day. I won't do a live on the 15th because the tournament will only be 2 days old. I'll do that on the 22nd will be the first live showing the current leaderboard. So Brian saying fishing is fun. Yeah. Yeah, Brian, you're still in Lindy's thunder, man. Don't do that. Yeah, just let me see. John, you're welcome. I really enjoy doing these tournaments for everybody. Hopefully, like I said, soon we're definitely making traction on the sponsorship side. I want to get to the point by the end of the year where hopefully by mid-year, our first place prize is $500 worth of tackle. That's my goal. That'd be a pretty good first place prize. That's my goal. I'm not promising anybody in that, but that's the goal I'd like to get to. So, hey Rob, I'm going to hang out just a little bit longer. I'm not going to kill it, but thanks for stopping by, Rob. I appreciate it. If you got any questions, now's your time to ask. If you got any questions about the tournaments or concerns, yeah, we're looking forward to having you in there. Rob, I don't know exactly who you are because I've got like 35 Robs signed up. So sorry. So Kurt, I didn't know. I know there's a lot of good fishing in Illinois, but I didn't know there's a lot of good lakes around the Scott area. Are we allowed to fish private lakes and ponds? Absolutely. And let me make this clear to everybody. You can fish any body of water, public, private, etc. Lakes, streams, mud puddles if it's got bass in it, to catch bass. As long as you catch them out of the water, it's all that matters. So no, exactly, and no live bait. That is the key. Please do not take that as you can catch the bass out of the aquarium at Bass Pro Shop. That's kind of awkward. I know Josh is thinking that. Look, John was already in front of me. Oh man, doesn't surprise me. Florida man named John caught in Bass Pro Shop. So yeah, great question. You can fish private lakes, private ponds, public, whatever, as long as you're fishing with artificial lures on terminal tackle. Terminal tackle meaning rod and reel. So no nets or anything like that. The one other thing that I would throw out, because you asked about the Roland has a key. Someone asked about the participant code. I think, was it John or was it Russell? Russell from RWA Fishing. Somebody wrote in black magic marker their participant code on the back of their hand. No, it was Patrick from Paw Man's Fishing, the guy who won the last tournament. He used the back of his hand and wrote his participant code on there and put his hand with the participant code on the fish. Now that's creative. Good on him for having a marker with him all the time, but that's one way to do it. Hey, Nick. Yeah, the water at Mooney is, I think we're at full pull. Brian, you were out there. Hey, we're at full pull. Man from Florida, you hear about. I know. I'm going to give you one. I got to plug John and Lindy from Small Charge. And if you don't, for some strange reason, they can't get you on the bass. It is one of the funnest day on the water with John and Lindy. John will have you rolling. So if you do go out there with them, and it's worth going down, I promise you. Yes, they're at full pull. Yeah, Nick, we're at full pull. If I've got a little bit of work to do tomorrow, and then I have an appointment with the good old Veterans Administration that I can't miss. They tend to want to take your check when you miss their appointment. So, but if I get out in time, I'm going to try to get out tomorrow afternoon. So, and I'll probably hit Mooney if the wind is right. So 70 degrees this time of year is really a good day to get out and fish for us in Virginia. So. All right, I don't see anybody else that jumped in here. Josh, thanks for jumping up with me. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice meeting you, Josh.
Yeah. Gary, thanks for you jumping up here as well.
Yes,
it's
no
odd. Both of you guys are good friends that I've had for years, and that started with our relationship in the Air Force. It's cool. Yep. So some things, some friendships don't ever go away. That's a good thing. So, by the way, Russell's the one that said he had the participant code. So no, don't Photoshop it. I'll catch you photoshopping. By the way, I do have a tool that will catch you if you Photoshop. Able is better. Brian, what are you trying to tell me? Stay out of your lake? I'll catch them out of Able. You know I do. So is it public or private waters? You can fish either, Ted. You can fish private or public waters. We do not have a restriction on lakes, ponds, streams, or anything. There is no restrictions. You can fish public or private waters, either one. Just want to make that clear. And I do put that in the instructions. John says, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. Yeah, and private. Yes, Ted, you can fish private lakes, private ponds. If you can find a private lake or private pond around here that you don't, or anywhere in the United States, good on you. But most of them, they want you to pay to get on now. So if you want to do that, go right for it. I'm not going to hold anybody back.
Right.
So. All right, folks. I don't see anything. Anybody else jumping in? Again, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And if I think we'll have potentially next will be a week prior. So I'll probably do another live next week. I'll probably put out a fishing episode and a live next week. So if you know folks that have questions or didn't get a chance to come in, we'll do a live before the tournament starts next week as well. So appreciate all of you. Appreciate everyone. Mash that thumbs up before you get out of here if you could. Thank you all for supporting the channel and helping me hit 3,000 subscribers. It is helping as we push to get more and more sponsorship. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care.